Hey Internet, Eric here. Welcome to the first, I guess you would say, official movie review, movie discussion video for Shark Week 2023. And because I already did the Bloody Sunday video for this week, so it's going to be 7 videos, one per day, different shark movies. And the theme for this year's Shark Week, I mean, I did one for last year, there is a playlist, is going to be nothing but Wild Eye releasing shark movies. If you don't know Wild Eye is a distribution company. It distributes low budget independent horror movies, kind of like Troma does, for independent movies, but with like half the budget, or maybe even like an eighth of the budget of what Troma uses for their films. Um, the reason why I decided to do this is a lot of my friends in the Deadly Venoms, Night Watch Zone, Trivial Theater, Horror Miser, Monty G, Strange Monkey, Coriander, Cadaver Club, Ben from Cadaver Club, all the people that are associated with that group of friends of mine, they like when I discuss wildlife movies. Why? Because they're a bunch of jerks and they like to see me suffer for my art here on YouTube. So I figured I'll pump out some videos for them to enjoy at my expense. So the first Wild Eye shark movie I'm going to discuss for Shark Week 2023 is Sharkula. Yes. I gotta give credit where credit's due. That poster is really fucking cool. All right, Sharkula came out in 2022. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I discuss plot spoilers, specific scenes, what have you. Basic plot of this movie: we're following two guys. They just got hired for this job at the local docks, where they're just shipping this container here, that container there, unloading stuff that comes in, blah, blah, blah. They live there. They never get to see their boss. They have to deal with his assistant type of thing. And then they find out that their boss is really Dracula. And he is basically doing the bidding of a great white shark that Dracula had bitten, but Dracula now is under its spell or something, and he must do nightly sacrifices to this fucking shark. And the two guys try to stop Dracula and the shark. Okay. You go into Wild Eye with a certain mind frame. You know it's not going to be good, air quotes, because you can enjoy bad movies. I enjoy bad movies, so you have to go in with that mind frame. And I've shit on Wild Eye before. I think I've done 5 videos. It's got its own playlist. For every 4 bad Wild Eye movies, there's always one good one, like Baby Frankenstein. This is no fucking Baby Frankenstein. Okay, first off, these two actors, the two guys that Billy Bob and Jim Joe, whatever, their names aren't important because they're not very good. They're not very memorable. They have no chemistry. The directing to them, or the director, is not showing them how to say their lines properly. They're either, you can tell that they haven't memorized the script. They're reading off of cue cards. It's really, really bad. First, I know I'm in trouble when the movie starts off and I'm getting the, I guess you would say, basic plot or basic story being told to me, but it's nothing but echoes. So it's hard to understand. And so I had to put on the fucking subtitles. So that was bad. Then we have Dracula, pretty much in broad daylight, being chased by the villagers. Okay, and he's being chased by the village. He stops at a cliff, and he's got nowhere to go, even though he can turn into a fucking bat. Right? He's got nowhere to go. He's trapped. One of them throws a bad-looking spear at him, pierces Dracula. He does the ooh thing, and the fake Mario Paint blood hits the screen. He falls off the cliff, falls into the water. Great white shark bites him. He bites the shark. I want to bite my wrists and bleed to death because I know this is going to get bad. My daughter was watching. She was eating lunch in the background. She was watching. She's like, man, who made this movie? She said, I wonder if they knew how bad this movie looks. She said, this looks like a bad YouTube video. My daughter was correct. And it only gets worse from here because 18 minutes in, I turned the fucking movie off. I had to come back to it tonight as of this recording. All right, so you got those guys. They're not good, but again, they're not given much to work with, and the director, I don't think, is very good directing them and telling them how to emote, how to act, all this stuff. We have a girl named Mina, obviously, and she, I guess, she's the one that knows all about Dracula, knows about the Sharkula. She's there to make wooden crosses like with sticks. I thought they were like the fucking Blair Witch thing, and she throws them in the water to keep the shark at bay. She's awful, especially when she's trying to stand up to Dracula at the very end of the movie. She sucks. Renfield. Renfield is the assistant. He's the one that interacts with the two guys the most. God, he fucking sucks. First off, he's dressed like he's right out of 2000 Maniacs. You know what I mean? The white shirt and the suspenders and the fucking bumpkin hat. But if you've ever seen Dude, Where's My Car? He kind of delivers poorly. Like that one friend of Jesse and Chester's, the one who speaks like Yoda, when like don't instead of saying don't forget the fortune cookies, like when they're at Chinese food, he says don't forget the cookies fortune. That type of really bad acting, but his is done on purpose in a comedic way. I think this guy playing Renfield is really trying. Awful, awful, sucks so bad. Um, he like I said, his look is bad, his delivery is bad. For some reason, he's helping Dracula by getting the women to be the sacrifices, and every time they die, of course, he has to sniff their leftover panties and bras. And we get like 2 or 3 scenes of him just sitting there sniffing panties and bras. The movie's only like an hour and 10 minutes, so we have to have at least 2 scenes of him doing that to have some padding. He's god awful. He's not intimidating. Like he's supposed to be scary. You know what I mean? Or at least supposed to be creepy. He comes off creepy, but not in like the scary way. He comes off like a panty sniffer. You know what I mean? And that's without seeing those fucking scenes. He's awful. Now let's get to Dracula. All right. The actor who plays Dracula, God bless him, he's trying his best. Okay? Not given a lot to do. He goes in and out of the accent. He has shit dialogue. Shit dialogue. But the biggest problem about Dracula in this movie, and it's not necessarily the actor's fault, it's the casting director. Dracula's supposed to be scary. Dracula's supposed to be intimidating. Bela Lugosi can be intimidating at times. Christopher Lee, Gary Oldman, Duncan Rager from the Monster Squad. These are intimidating Draculas. These are scary Draculas. This actor here is not scary. Rutger Hauer, scary Dracula. This dude here, he's old. Like he's probably in his late 50s, early 60s. Thinning hair, plus receding hairline. Very kind of dumpy. That's coming from me. Belly, saggy. He, he looks like, the typical homeless guy. You know what I mean? So he's not going to be intimidating. Dracula's not scary. So you're not going to be fine. You're not going to be bad casting. There's other characters thrown in there here and there, would-be victims, like one of the girls who is turned into a vampire, but she's still being chained up in the basement. Yes, Dracula sleeps in the basement with his coffin. She's awful, and when she tries to be scary, like she's going to bite somebody, she just goes, rawr! Literally, that's what it is. Rawr! That's, like, no guttural scare, no, something like that. It's rawr! Okay, so you got that shit. Now, I know the budget is super super low, so we're gonna have a lot of off-screen kills, and that's fine. And I'll give credit where credit's due when we do get some blood. I'm not talking about Dracula stabbed, Mario paint shit flying on the screen. Renfield is killed. We have a prosthetic neck slit that looks decent. We have some kills off screen. I get that, but when we do see other kills, like one guy, his head's literally looking over the water, and then the shark puppet, like it's like a hand puppet, like literally a hand puppet, bites him in the head, pulls him in the water. Fucking awful. The shark looks like shit. I would be embarrassed. No offense to this director. I know this director, somebody Polonia, has a huge following with all these wildlife fans. God bless you, dude. But I would be embarrassed with the way the shark looked, and you released this movie, because it looks, when it's underwater, it's either glowing eyes, which you can't see the body, or it's a really bad. It's a really bad shark body with bat wing. It's kind of, and it doesn't even fucking move. It doesn't move. It's literally like this moth right here. You know what I mean? This is a shark. This is a shark, great white shark head, and it's literally just going through the water like this. And we have bubbles going up in fucking front of it, so we can't see how bad it is, but we see enough. We see poorly rendered CGI shark pop up out of the water, disappear. Poorly CGI'd bats flying. I guess that's Dracula, because it looks like a fucking bat. You know, you got the rodent fate, so he can turn into a bat. But like I said at the very beginning of the fucking movie, he couldn't fly away from the villagers. Okay, so you got that. But when we get to see the shark, like actually eat its sacrifices, it literally looks like a plastic fucking hand puppet. You know what I mean? And you can tell because you can, when you have one of those plastic hand puppets, when you raise its mouth like this, the teeth stretch this way, the mouth, the way the mouth stretches like that, you can see the plastic in it. And it's so fucking bad. And then it's, how do I say this? The final act of the movie is Dracula tells his fucking story. He landed in the water. He did some type of fucking psychic mind meld with this great white shark. The shark told him that he has to serve the shark, like as a slave. This is fucking Dracula. So not only does Dracula look, you know who Dracula reminds me of? He reminds me of the dumpy guy in Halloween Kills that they think is Michael Myers from the sanitarium that jumps and kills himself out of the hospital window. That is what Dracula looks like in this movie. So not only does Dracula look like a dumpy guy, Dracula is now a slave of a great white shark. Dracula is somebody or something's slave. That shouldn't work. So we have that. He tells the story, and then he's going to get Mina and the leftover of the two guys. Let's fake a sacrifice for this shark. Because I forgot to say, Dracula also has two minions. I don't know if they're human or if they're skeletons, but they just show up out of the blue to help walk the sacrifice. They're dressed in like these fucking robes, and they have skeleton faces, like skulls. They have to be masks because I don't see, when they do talk, their mouths don't move unless they're supposed to be skeletons and there's a budget with so much shit that they couldn't afford that. Shout out to Strange Monkey. Strange Monkey's skeleton mask, his skeleton face, is better than these. Okay, so they're going to do this sacrifice. They're going to pretend that Mina's going to get sacrificed to kill the shark, and then Dracula is going to, be fine, let them go. Hand puppet shark comes up. I don't know if it's flying because we don't hear any wings flapping. So is it walking on land? It doesn't have fucking legs. Is it just gliding through the air? There's no wind blowing, but it goes to bite Mina. It's all a ruse. Leftover guy, I'm just going to call him Tucker and Dale. Tucker, he's got this stick. I guess that's how he's going to defeat it because he's going to... Oh, yeah, because you have to stab the fucking shark with a wooden stake. He gingerly tries to stab the shark. Shark puppet has no reaction to it. And then somehow, I don't know if he uses a torch or what, but he somehow sets Sharkula on fire. And it's like some of the worst, like... Microsoft, I don't know if it's Microsoft Paint, some of the worst downloaded off the internet fire put in front of this bad Mothra flying fucking shark. And then that's it. Shark's gone. So Sharkula, this big bad thing that Dracula was taking orders from, is defeated like that. Embarrassing for both the Sharkula and for Dracula. So fucking dumb. What else was I going to say? Then of course Dracula, he reneges his deal. He's going to force Mina to marry her and then kill Tucker or Dale. And it takes place, we're now back in the basement. Sunlight shining through the basement windows. Dracula's in plain fucking sunlight. Now, he's so stupid in this movie. Dracula falls for Mina, saying that you will do my bidding, you want to marry me, you will do my bidding, blah, blah, blah. He falls for that because he's in love with Mina, I fucking guess. And then out of nowhere, Tucker or Dale has one of her little twig crosses, puts it on Dracula's head, and, oh, I forgot to say, First off, before that happens, Sharkula, the shark puppet, bites Dracula on the hand. So I guess the Dracula is now, he's been bitten before, but now I guess he's really getting the shark powers or whatever, even though he never fucking turns into a shark again. And the effects of him, to, the effects, like he's going in and out, like, very blurry. He's starting to twist a little bit, spiral type of effect, and then that's it. Now we're back in the basement. We put the cross twigs on his forehead. He's now all bleach white. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's what happened. Sharkula bit him and he became an albino. So then he's defeated. He screams. There's some smoke, I think. The cross lights up, and then literally, boop, he's gone. Like no smoke, no puff of smoke, no nothing. This is like, I don't know if I mentioned it before in some review. It's kind of like idle hands. You know what I mean? When the hand gets stabbed and suddenly it just goes psh, and disappears, and Seth Green is all disappointed. This is worse than that because you don't even get a sound effect of him just going psh. That's it. So Dracula's defeated. And so how do we end this movie? Mina, she's free of her slavery duties or whatever. Tucker looks over her. He's like, wow, you sound kind of hot when you were talking to Dracula like that. And then they go off the screen. They're going to probably go fuck. And then, of course, Mina says something, well, the shark's defeated, as far as we know. And then you see the fucking shark eyes that look like fucking car headlights from under the water. Awful movie. This movie starts off, first off, I forgot to mention, not only do we get the exposition or whatever in echoes, a lot of this movie is filmed with a blurry type of filter. I don't know why. I don't know if it's to hide a lot of stuff that isn't working in the set, but it's awful. And here's how I want to describe Sharkula. After Dracula tells Tucker this whole story about him underwater and having to do the shark's bidding and this bullshit, Tucker looks at him and he basically says, well, that's a bunch of crap. That's how this movie is. Tucker is right. Sharkula is just a bunch of crap. Okay? The only redeeming factor in this movie is Renfield's neck wound looks okay. And that is just, like I said, that's like finding the marble in the oatmeal. You know what I mean? From UHF. That little good thing in this big mess. Acting is horrible. Shark looks pathetic, whether it's puppet or CGI. The blood is awful. Dracula is a fat, dumpy, homeless man. Not intimidating. Bad acting. Bad directing. I forgot about the theme song. There's a fucking theme song. It's literally just some guy saying Sharkula and it's literally like, a beach song, like Frankie and Annette would play, the Beach Boys, that type of bullshit. They actually got credit for that during the credits. Awful song, awful movie, and this is the beginning to an awful week. So that's it. Thank you. Like and subscribe. Click the bell. Comment below. Tell me if you hate this movie. Tell me if you like this movie. God bless you if you do. Tell me why. Why do you like it? I enjoy bad movies. I enjoy dumb movies. I enjoy stupid movies. But then there's those, and there's Sharkula. What is it about this movie that you enjoy? Why? Because this was hard to watch. And I've got a bunch more to go. So with that, like and subscribe, all that crap. Cheers and wish me luck.